morning after the night before, a night that none of us will ever forget on day 3 of the World Para Swimming Championships, and we are flocking back to the London Aquatic Centre for day number 4. We're flying into today. It's been 3 days of magnificent racing, terrific competition, and we reached the halfway point in East London for 2019. This iconic venue settled the 2012 Olympic and Paralympic Games. We're back in 2019 for the World Para Swimming Championships. That's the scene outside in Stratford at the moment. This is the scene inside this iconic pool. That roof, it's recognisable all over the world. And tonight and today, we've got some more fantastic racing for you. Stephen Jameson and Liz Johnson alongside you for this morning's session on commentary. The school kids are in on their best school trip they've ever had, as we look forward to day number 4. But Liz, before we move on forward to day number 4, we have to take a moment to reflect on day number 3. One of the best nights of para swimming I can remember. I know you think that the same as well. Why was it so special?
I think it was more that it was a consistently high level of quality racing. So there was excitement, back to back to back, close finishes, disappointing results for some people on the wrong end, but it had it all, and it just was relentless for the entire session.
The crowd are in, all having a nice time. And they're all getting different flags to wave as well, which is always nice.
They spot themselves on the TV.
Spanish support is in. They're having a good championship so far, Spain. And the Italian support, as ever, is strong. Some Finnish support today. Keep an eye out for their athletes. Officials are making their way out at the moment on the poolside. Quite a quick morning in terms of the session time. We'll be over and out by round about 1:45. This is the schedule ahead of us. We kick off with 100 metre breaststroke for the SB12 athletes, then some backstroke, freestyle, breaststroke again, 50 fly S5. Some standout events there. The 100 metre freestyle for the S10, one of the quickest events in the calendar. As we round off the morning session with some backstroke in the S3 and the S4. The 200 metre individual medley for the S11 swimmers is an event laced with peril. Those extraordinary athletes push themselves to their very limits over the medley. 400 free S8 and the 100 back for the S6s rounds us off for day number 4.
Well, the officials are in place. The crowd are coming in. Steve, you ready?
Just about recovered after last night. Thank you, Liz.
No, I felt like I swam. I think I would rather have swum. It was so exciting up here, wasn't it?
It really was. And the thing is it was set up from the heats, wasn't it? We knew it was going to be special because the heats gave us that indication that it would be. So many close heats, so many races where you looked at who swam on the heats and thought, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5 athletes there who might go close. It made for some truly spectacular racing. The countdown is on then inside the Aquatic Centre until we meet our athletes for the first time this morning. For the men's 100 metres breaststroke SB12. Here come the athletes then in our first event of the day. 2 heats, the men's 100 breaststroke SB12. big Eastern European presence across both of these heats. Only 3 athletes across the two which aren't from that part of the world. Sergei Punko, Deng Jiku, Artur Sayfutdinov, Vali Israfilov, Andrei Afanasyev and Kirill Ilyukevich. The men's 100 meters breaststroke SB12 heat number 1.
Good stuff. These athletes very powerful, the SB12s. Great underwater work there. We saw in lane 4 from Artur Sayfutdinov of Russia. We keep saying it, theme of the week, but the Russians, they have that element of surprise. We haven't seen them on the international stage since 2016. A lot of them feel like they've got a point to prove. They want to put the training that they've been doing to the test. And here we see it is the Russian leading into the turn, closely followed by Valery Stravilov and then Deng of China trying to keep up, hanging in there, just getting a good lane draw tonight. That is the aim of these heats this morning. Savdov there looking very good in lane 4. Israfilov looks like he's working slightly harder.
So come into the final 10 meters. It is the man in lane 4, Artur Sayfutdinov of Russia, who looks very strong here. Going to take this one down. Second place, not far behind him, is Azerbaijan's Vali Israfilov in lane 5. Deng of China gets a good swim in lane 3. Should be enough to get him through to tonight's final, but he will have a bit of an anxious wait. Sayfutdinov strong, 66.14. Very good time that. Only about 2 seconds off world record sort of pace, which in a breaststroke heat is a pretty good indicator of how quickly he's swimming.
There we see those different strokes. The blue hat of Israfilov just looks like he's working a bit harder, but often that can be technique. Breaststroke is very difficult to read how hard someone is working.
Confirmed results then of heat number 1. Sayfutdinov takes it down, 106.14. Israfilov and Deng, second and third. And here comes the start list for the SB12. Iran's Mohammad Hossein Karimijan Abadi, Maxim Varaksha, Alexei Fedina, Vladimir Izzatov, Sergei Klippert, and Julius Jaranding of Malaysia round out the start list.
Well, as they get away, it was Savdov in the first heat who came into these championships with the fastest time in the world this year, but this heat is loaded. Alexei Fedina of Ukraine in lane 4, he's the Paralympic champion from Rio in the SB13 classification, being reclassified since. His eyesight has deteriorated, but also the Paralympic champion from Rio in this classification. Uzran Izotov of Belarus is in this race as well. So this is the heat. This is the loaded heat. Baraksa will be looking to make up for his disappointing and unfortunate disqualification yesterday in his favoured event. Of course, he is the fastest man ever to grace World Paraswimming waters. But here we see it is those two caps in the middle, the two Paralympic champions that will expect to fight it out for that gold medal this evening. Going very well this morning, pulling away from the rest of the field. And Fedina in second place currently, looking very comfortable.
Fedina, the world and championship record holder. It's Izotov who brings it home for Belarus in lane 5, 65.39. Touch more quicker than what we saw in heat 1. Fedina in 67.33. He'll get himself a slightly outside lane in the final. But Vladimir Izatov going very smoothly this morning and really taking it out hard. Belarus have enjoyed a good championships, which they always seem to because of the presence of Ihar Boki, but he's been joined by his teammates this week who've all performed really well.
Yeah, Belarus strong in the visually impaired categories. We talk about it so often, but as soon as one athlete from a nation starts to move things forward, it draws the attention of the rest of the country, and then that encouragement to get more people involved really does to help develop the strength.
Confirmed results then of heat number 2. Izatov of Belarus takes the win. Fedina and Clifford second and third. These are the finalists then. Izatov will take lane number 4. He'll have Saifutdinov and Israfilov for company. All swimmers coming from Eastern Europe in the top 4. Should be a cracking race, that. Time for the women's event. Women's 100 breaststroke SB12. There's Maria Carolina Gomez, who after her fantastic 50 meter freestyle yesterday cannot stop smiling. What can she do in the breaststroke? Alia Rakimbakova, Anastasia Zutsalava, Maria Carolina Gomez, Carolina Palandritu, Nila Labuda and Cornell Leach. Women's 100 meter breaststroke SB12 heat number 1. So Cypriot athlete we've seen this week, Carolina Palandritu, going in lane 5. Can anyone stop this on-form Brazilian? What a find she's been for the Brazilian team.
A good start there from that yellow hat of Gomez Santiago, but Carolina Palandritu of Cyprus, she is a breaststroke specialist. You'll see her there, she doesn't wear goggles, that's her trademark. She is a former Paralympic champion, and she'll be looking to get up and into the medals again, because this really is the event she travels for. She made her international debut at the Commonwealth Games back in Manchester in 2002, swimming 50 freestyle there, but breaststroke has always been her main event. But here we see Maria Carolina Gomez Santiago, Carol to her friends and family, leading out from the front. She's got a good advantage here, 2 seconds over Palandritu and almost 3 seconds ahead of Anastasia Zudleva of Belarus, who's also going very well. But Gomez Santiago did actually break the world record back in April at the World Para Series in Brazil, but it only stood for 1 day. We know she's in good form, she's going well here. She'll get tapped as she comes into that final stroke. 1:15.54 there for Maria Carolina Gomez Santiago this morning. Tight finish for the two behind her. Zuzaleva of Russia just getting the touch over the Cypriot breaststroke specialist. But a good morning swim as the rest of the field finish up.
Yeah, fine swim. Championship record for Maria Carolina Gomez as well. Really impressive couple of days from the Brazilians so far. She takes that championship record, interestingly, from Carolina Palandritu, who set that in Montreal in 2013. That stood for a little while and just gives an indicator of how this Brazilian is swimming this week. Fantastic time, 1:15.54. Takes half a second off that record. You know she's swimming well. She'll have competition. We're about to see the quickest in the world come up in heat number 2. Here's the results then of heat 1. Gomez Santiago, championship record, wins it. Zutsalava of Belarus in second, just pipping Palandritu to the post. Here comes the start list then for heat number 2. The world record holder, Elena Kravtsov of Germany, is the leading knight in this one. She's got Soon of Singapore, Lachitskaya of Russia, Lukyanenko also of Russia, Myers of USA, and Moro of Argentina for company.
Well, as they get away, it is Elena Kravtsov of Germany in lane 4. She is the world record holder. She is the European champion. She is coming in as the favourite to this heat. And she just missed the podium last night in 50 freestyle, so she'll be looking to make amends here. She's responded well to the introduction of Gomez Santiago of Brazil, who saw in the first heat entering world para swimming. As I said, Gomez Santiago broke the world record earlier this year, but it lasted one day because Kravtsov broke it back. And then Elena Kravtsov here, we see, going out very well, turning slightly quicker than the Brazilian did in the first heat. And then she broke this world record again in June of this year. So we know that Elena Kravtsov is in brilliant breaststroke form. And we can see, look at that technique. Perfect breaststroke technique here, and she pulls away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, Elena Kravtsov burst on the scene for Germany in this pool at the 2012 Paralympic Games. Took a silver in this event. She's looking to upgrade it to a gold 7 years on at this World Championship. She looks in very, very dangerous form. 1:13.78, a brand new championship record, back-to-back in the heats. An echo of what happened earlier in the year with the world record between Maria Carolina Gomez and Elena Kravtsov. That is a fine swim, 1:13.78. Plenty more in the tank for Kravtsov as well. I have a feeling she's going to chase her world record pretty hard tonight. That stands at 1:12.71. A lovely swim from the German.
Absolutely, she's signalled her intent. She has sent a message. She will not be giving up that world record without a fight. Again, we've set up already for a good head-to-head in tonight's final session.
Steady. That should be a very good race. You are absolutely spot on. Confirmation of those results. Close in behind her, very close, between Lukyanenko, Myers and Lachitskaya. Elena Kravtsov though, brand new championship record, 1:13.78, wins heat number 2. Here's your final then. Kravtsov will have lane 4. She'll have Maria Carolina Gomez Santiago to her left in lane 5. Daria Lukyanenko will take lane 3. Rebecca Myers and Maria Lachitskaya will offer plenty of ammunition from those outside lanes. Time for our next event. It's the men's 100-meter backstroke S7. We have 2 heats of this one as well. Here is the first. Chen of Chinese Taipei, Ante Rada, Croatia, Italo Pereira, Brazil, Andrei Trusov, Ukraine, Federico Bocelli of Italy, Andrei Gladkov of Russia, and Ernie Gawalan of Philippines.
Some athletes will opt to use the backstroke wedge. Some will, you'll see, will move it out the way, as these athletes, the ones with the lower leg impairments, don't often find the wedge of any benefit to them.
So final preparations just being made on poolside for these S7 athletes. And in they go. 100-meter backstroke S7 for the men. Heat number 1. Hold on tight.
Well, best start there in that middle lane. Andrei Trusov of the Ukraine in lane 4, using those legs to get away. Current world champion and birthday boy for today, 24 years old, is Italo Pereira in that yellow hat of Brazil. Paralympic bronze medalist also, but Andrei Gladkov, the Russian in form, in lane 6. He is the world champion from Glasgow in 2015, and we've seen him having a great comeback to international waters this week. It's very level as we go into the halfway turn. Gladkov getting the touch by just over half a second. Pereira third, Bicelli of Italy in second. This is one of those events where you can't afford to hang around in the heat because there's not a lot separating anyone, and if you do have a bad swim or a slightly slower swim, you do run the risk of not making the cut for tonight.
Yeah, going to go down to the wire. This one really even race. The top 4 all pushing out pretty hard. 5th and 6th are not too far behind either. And they come then towards the wall. It will be over in lane 6. Andrei Gladkov of Russia, who takes heat number 1 down. Bicelli and Trusov further behind him. That race, when it was close at the start, started to really drag itself out towards the end, and Gladkov takes a pretty commanding victory ultimately. Good swim from the Russian. He's sort of in the theme of plenty of the Russian athletes who burst on the scene in Glasgow in 2015, really trying to make up for lost time. And plenty of the Russian team have managed to do that very successfully. Gladkov hoping to continue in that vein. Bicelli, who was second. In confirmation of these results, Andrei Trusov and Italo Pereira were 3rd and 4th. Potentially an anxious wait for that pair. This is a very even race, and they'll have plenty of attention on the scoreboard for our next heat, which is on its way. Sergei Sukharev of Russia, Inaki Baslov, Argentina, Yevgeny Borodayko, Ukraine, Pipo Kalamagno, Argentina, Bogdan Hrunenko, Ukraine, Mark Malia, Israel, and Wei Sung To of Singapore. Produced one of the swims of the championships, breaking the 400-meter freestyle world record by 5 seconds earlier on this week. What she got for us in the 100 back.
Well, good starts there coming from Mark Malia, the inform man of Israel, up in lane 6, but also Paralympic champion Yevgeny Borodayko of the Ukraine. He uses that underwater well. He knows he needs to maximize that start, because there you can see the strong arm-dominant strokes of the 2 athletes in lane 4 and 5. Argentina's Pipo Kalamagno and his Ukrainian compatriot Bogdan Hrunenko. As they come into the turn, it is the Argentinian with a slither of a lead, less than 0.2 of a second from Hrunenko, as they now plough down this second 50 metres, where they have got company from Mark Malia and Yevgeny Borodayko.
Yeah, going to be a really close finish, I think. This race was close at the turn, similar to the last, but they've really dragged each other on here in those middle lanes, especially. Going to go down to the wire between Kalamagno of Argentina and Hrunenko of Ukraine. I think it's going to be the South American who gets there. It is 1:10.39. Really good time from Kalamagno. It is in fact an America's record for the Argentine. Brand new lifetime best, naturally. Looks like the time is just slightly altered inside of Evgeny Hrunenko has been given the win.
By 1/100th of a second.
Yeah, it really was close. Our results at the first instant popped up with Pipo Kalamagno, but Hrunenko just shading him on the revised time by 100th of a second. Well, if that race is that close this evening, Liz, it's just going to pick up where we left off last night.
Absolutely. I said it was going to be tight, and tight it was. Even to make it into the final, these athletes couldn't hang around.
Well, confirmation of those results. It couldn't be closer between Horenko and Carlo. Mark Mallia strong in third. Borodajko potentially with an anxious wait here. Has he made the final? We're about to find out. And here is the list of finals. Borodajko does make it. So too does Italo Pereira of Brazil. Horenko and Carlo the leading lights in that one. Andrei Gladkov was strong in Heat 1, and he'll have to go quick again tonight. It's a loaded race.
Another one.
Here comes our next event, the women's 100 metres backstroke S7. Here comes the start list. Agnes Kramer, Sweden. Nora Meister, Switzerland. Shelby Newkirk, Canada. Anna Hontar, Ukraine. Kaylee Ting, China. Irina and Simonova, Ukraine.
Well, again, this race promises to be anticipated to be an exciting final this evening. Shelby Newkirk of Canada in lane 4. She burst onto the scene a few years ago as a rookie, breaking the world record initially, and then she's got the height of a backstroker. She's 6 foot tall. Her brother, 6'8". So she comes from a family built to swim backstroke. Here we see that underwater from the athletes. Anna Hontar also going well in lane 5 for Ukraine as these athletes come into the turn together. Hontar getting the touch. We see there the difference in turns. One athlete doing the touch turn, the Ukrainian. Newkirk choosing to tumble. Now we're up and into lead, and Newkirk with the better push off the wall. We can see from that underwater she's starting to pull away. She's opened up a body length between her and Anna Hontar of the Ukraine.
Down towards the finish they come then. Newkirk taking this one out hard. As I've mentioned, built to swim backstroke. As she comes then towards the wall, going to be a win by about a body length, which is quite big when you're when you're Shelby Newkirk rather. Anna Hontar coming in behind her. It's a championship record for Shelby Newkirk. And that has stood for a while as well. 1:23.19 was the old championship record. Shelby Newkirk's absolutely obliterated it. It stood since Eindhoven in 2010. That's a long-standing championship record. Held by Kirsten Brunn of Germany. Well, no longer. It belongs to Canada and it belongs to Shelby Newkirk. And I have a feeling she's going to set herself up for a fantastic North American battle in the final. Heat 2 is loaded. Shelby Newkirk knew she had to swim out quick. And sent a message to all those in Heat 2, including the current world record holder, that she is here for gold and nothing less. Here's the official results. Newkirk championship record 1:21.39. Anna Hontar 1:23.21. Nora Meister picks up third. Kaylee Ting with an anxious wait. This is the start list for heat number 2. Tess Ruti for Canada goes in 1. Ahelia Lettenberger of USA in 3. Julia Gaffney and Elizabeth Marks in 4 and 5. Her teammates, Kavil Baru of Canada, and then Sweden's Nicola St. Clair Maitland. Must be something in that North American water when it comes to this event. 2 more Canadians, 3 Americans, including the world record holder. There she is, Julia Gaffney.
Well, there we see Elizabeth Marks using the underwater well to come up just in front out of the three of those USA swimming hats in the middle of the pool. Julia Gaffney made her international debut at the Mexico World Championships. She was an S8 there. She did very well, picked up many silvers behind Jessica Long. She is now an S7 athlete, and she really has found her form in this category. She's going from strength to strength. She's the current world record holder. But Paralympic breaststroke champion Elizabeth Marks is coming to turn with a sizable lead this morning over Lettenberger, who picked up her first major championship medal earlier in the week in the 400 meters freestyle. And then Julia Gaffney also going very well. But Camille Burrow splitting the USA 1-2-3 at the turn, but still keeping it a North American affair.
And they come then towards the finish. A really strong race this from Elizabeth Marks. Utilises the tapper to help her finish 120.6. Wow. We are in for a treat this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you. Another championship record. Another heat where we've had back-to-back championship records in heats 1 and then 2. Elizabeth Marks flies down in 120.6 to take it off Shelby Newkirk, who only just broke it. Julia Gaffney back in third place. Slow swim by her standards. She's capable of a lot quicker. Hayley Lettenberger of the USA, 124.83 in seconds. So Elizabeth Marks there in a hurry. And in fact, the times have just been revised. In front of us, Julia Gaffney did indeed pick up seconds, just in front of Lettenberger on the touch.
Well, Elizabeth Marks has a great relationship with Great Britain and the UK. She started back into swimming following her accident at the military games, Invictus Games. Was very successful there, and now she's gone from strength to strength in these para swimming waters.
There's the results. Marks, Gaffney and Berube, the 1-2-3. And here is an absolutely loaded final. The world record holder will be in an outside lane. Hayley Lettenberger barely making it. Elizabeth Marks' championship record will go head-to-head with Shelby Newkirk, who broke that record mere moments before. Here we go then with our next event, the men's 100-meter freestyle S10. Our 10 is there. David Levesque, Rowan Crothers, Felipe Rodriguez, Dmitry Bartosinski, and Alan Ogozalek.
Well, these athletes cannot afford to hang about this morning. Both heats are loaded. Quickest reaction there coming from Felipe Rodriguez of Brazil, but it is Rowan Crothers of Australia, also in the yellow hat, one lane closer to us, that is the man of this heat. He is the Pan-Pacific champion, and we saw him go out well in the 400-meter freestyle. We've seen him pick up a medal in the 50 freestyle, a bronze on day one, and here he is really not leaving this to chance this morning. He turns with 0.76 of an advantage over second place, which is enormous.
Yeah, massive start this from Rowan Crothers, who is signalling his intent early on here. Felipe Rodriguez down in fourth at the turn, but coming back strongly down this home straight into second place. No doubt about who's going to win it. It will be the Aussie Rowan Crothers in a very nice time as well, 52.2. Felipe Rodriguez second, 53.96. And Dmitry Bartosinski of Russia picking up third, David Levesque fourth. It's a very, very quick event this. No guarantees of final spots. But Rowan Crothers Looks pretty happy with that swim, as he should. He is capable of quicker. We've seen it before, and doubtless we'll see it again. 52.2 is a strong swim in the heats from Rowan Crothers.
This is the event that he targets. This is probably his best of the three, and this is his opportunity to challenge Paralympic champion Maxim Krypak.
Confirmation of the results then. Crothers, Rodriguez and Bartosinski, the top three. David Levesque will hope that he's done enough to get himself into the final. So too Artem Azaev, but they have a nervy wait. Here's the start list for heat number 2. Zenit Segaminijad of Iran, William Martin, Australia, Ukraine's Dmitry Vanzenko, Paralympic champion Maxim Krypak, Stefano Raimondi of Italy, Dmitry Grigoriev, Russia, and Shahin Izadyar of Iran.
All the way pretty evenly that time. Best underwater coming from newly crowned 50-meter freestyle champion Stefano Raimondi of Italy in that blue cap. One lane up from Paralympic champion Maxim Krypak of Ukraine with that definitive straight arm freestyle that we can see there. Fresh off some victories last night in the 400-meter freestyle, 200 medley, but it is the butterfly specialist, Russian Dmitry Grigoriev, that takes the turn by 0.11, only 0.27 separating the top three. We said this would be close.
Yeah, we did, and it's living up to that for sure. Going to go down to the wall here. Maxim Krypak will know he's got plenty left in the tank if he needs it, and I think he may well do. As they come towards him, Krypak finishing strongly. He might not get there in front of Raimondi. It's really close on the touch. Yeah, Raimondi pips him. 54.44 for the Italian. 400ths of a second back was the Paralympic champion Krypak. And third place, as it stands, goes to Dmitry Grigoriev of Russia. Dmitry Vanzenko in fourth. William Martin fifth. Those consolidated results, some really competitive times there. But a good swim from Stefano Raimondi, who sprang a bit of a surprise on day one in the 50 freestyle. He's clearly in really good form. The Italians are having a wonderful meet. Why not?
Yeah, these athletes using that first heat as their marker, but taking it a little bit easier.
Can confirm the results of Heat 2 for you. Stefano Raimondi wins at 54.44. Maxim Krypak second, Dmitry Grigoriev in third. And here's tonight's final. Blink and you'll miss it. Rowan Crothers will headline in lane 4. He'll have Felipe Rodriguez and Stefano Raimondi for company. Maxim Krypak and Dmitry Bartosinski are two very dangerous swimmers to have on your outside. Time for the women's 100 free S10. Bit of home interest in this one. First one we've seen for the hosts this morning, and that's why the noise volume has just increased inside the Aquatic Centre. Maria Paula Barrera, Alessia Scortacchini, Chantal Siegefeld, Zara Maluli and Bianca Pack, the women's 100 free S10 first heat. And there'll still be such a buzz for Zara Maluli. The youngsters in particular, a little bit too boisterous for the start here.
Well, good start there from Chantal Siegefeld in lane 4, picked up a medal in the 50-meter freestyle, won the 200-meter individual medley. Surprised herself there, but she's going strongly down this first leg. She has company from Alessia Scortacchini of Italy and Maria Paula Barrera Zapata has started well for Colombia too. But Zara Maluli of Great Britain, we've seen her finish strongly all week, and she's given herself a real chance here. 0.21 off the lead, with Sorticini 0.77 behind Judeveld, who turned first.
Well, Chantal Judeveld had a wonderful moment earlier on in the week, doing the gold in the medley alongside her teammate Lisa Kruger. A moment that she won't forget in a hurry. And she's going along well here once again for the Netherlands. Zara Maluli pushing her all the way to home, finishing strongly. They're pretty much sitting on top of each other by that lane rope. As they come to the wall, it is very close. Judeveld picks Maluli into second position. Good swim from the Dutch swimmer. 101.74. Zara Maluli looks pretty happy with her morning's work, should I say. 61.8 for the Briton. And in third was Alessia Scortacchini of Italy.
Yeah, that was a good race there. Judeveld did take it out, and we said that Maluli would be strong down that second 50, which proved to be the case. The youngsters really starting to dominate this S10 category for women.
Confirmation of that result then. Chantal Judeveld wins it by a fine margin over Zara Maluli. Alessia Scortacchini picks up third. Good times too for Barrera and Pat. They will both have visions of making the final. It's going to be tough. Here comes the start list for S10. Stefani Cristino of Mexico, Chen Yi, Orly Riva, Lisa Kruger, Jasmine Greenwood, and Susanna Cowell.
Well, as they get away, the best start they're coming from Jasmine Greenwood in lane 6 for Australia. We saw her take out the 200-metre individual medley, the first leg 50 fly, very well. But it's great to see Paralympic champion Aurélie Rivard of Canada back occupying lane 4. She was in a fight yesterday in the 400-metre freestyle for silver and gold, and she came off and she put so much effort in. She had a turn after that race, had to be checked out by the medics, but she's bounced back very quickly to lead at this halfway point. Lisa Kruger now of the Netherlands in second place currently, with Greenwood holding on for that third position.
Yeah, Riva really pushed it out hard in that 400. Lost her world title to the Polish Olivia Jabońska, and that will rankle with the Canadian. She is the world record holder in this event. She will want to be world champion once again, and she's setting her stall out with a very quick swim this morning. 60.24. That is fast from Aurélie Rivard. Very nearly championship record pace set by Sophie Pascoe back in 2013. But not too far off world record pace from Aurélie Rivard. And that's going to be a real race later on this evening. Lisa Kruger in at 101.66. A little bit of a gap until Jasmine Greenwood of Australia. But the two swimmers in Heat 1 and the two in Heat 2, something's got to give with only 3 medals on offer. That is a very quick field. Confirmed results of heat number 2. Riva wins it, 60.24. Lisa Kruger second, and Jasmine Greenwood picks up third. And here is the confirmed final, and this one is a belter. 4, all with a chance of a gold medal. Riva, Kruger, Judeveld and Maluli will do battle later on tonight. That's one I'm already looking forward to. Next up is the men's 100 meter breaststroke Sp 13. And incredibly rare to see Ihar Boki in heat number 1. He's not the quickest into this event. Ivan Salguero, Gerasimos Linos, Boki, Maxim Nikiforov, Thomas van Wijnroot, and Gabriel Steen of Norway.
Well, if there was an event that you would call a weak link in Ihar Boki's very, very strong chain, you might say that it is the breaststroke, because this is the event that lends itself to the specialists. And Ihar Boki, he's the current European and world champion. He's the bronze medalist from the Paralympic Games in Rio. We will see the Paralympic champion going in heat 2. And we see here he's being led out in lane 5 by Maxim Nikiforov of Russia. Again, we see the Russian athletes putting great performances to announce their return. But again, we see Ihar Boki making such good use of his underwater work. That breaststroke pull-out made up the deficit and brought him up half a body length into the lead.
Yeah, his underwater is something to be marvelled at. Such a beautiful technician, Ihar Boki, and then he comes to the wall. He will win heat number 1. Good time too, 66.26. Maxim Nikiforov of Russia takes second place. Thomas van Wijnroot of Netherlands in third. But Ihar Boki will want to do the clean sweep. Make no mistake about that. It's a good swim from the Belarusian. You're quite right, his underwater work is what really sets him apart from any of his S13 competitors in any race, really.
Yeah, and if he's got a chance of winning this race, that will be his secret weapon.
Here's the results then. Boki wins at 66.26. Nikiforov second. Van Wijnroot of the Netherlands in third. Here comes heat 2 then. Guilherme Batista of Brazil. Nurali Sovetkanov of Kazakhstan. Firdavsbek Muzabekov of Uzbekistan, Feliso Engel, Germany, Shamil Shah of Azerbaijan, and Lipkin Huan of Hong Kong.
So there we see athletes using their underwater well. Bronze medalist, youngster from the Europeans, youngster from Germany, Feliso Engel, will be trying as hard as he can to stick with the Paralympic champion in lane 4. That is Firdavsbek Muzabekov. But actually, at the moment, the youngster from Germany is taking it to the Paralympic champion as they come to the halfway mark. Only 0.16 separating the two athletes in the Germans' favour.
Yeah, he's going on really, really well. Here's Feliso Engel. And a good chance in the heats for the youngsters to really put one on the hardened veterans and the Paralympic champions alike. Engel leads them home here as he looks to make a statement in these heats. Back comes Muzabekov of Uzbekistan. It will go down to the touch, and wowee, for the second time in as many nights, we have a tied first.
Here we go again.
In deja vu. So what we saw yesterday with Simone Barlam and Federico Malacchi, who could forget that? A tied first in the heats. This really doesn't happen very often. I need to clarify that. It is very rare that we get a tied first. This one, at least not for a medal. But Muzabekov and Engel tie for first, 105.58, nothing in between them.
Yeah, if they tie again tonight, we'll all be going home, we'll be like, wow.
I'm not sure I'll take it. Strong swim there, wasn't it, from Engel?
Absolutely, we saw him at the European Championships last year, as I mentioned, and actually sometimes that's it. You get a taste for these international competitive waters, and you go away, you train, you've just got that buzz, and you train so much harder, and you come back, and that experience is vital.
Well, there's other confirmed results then. Tied first in Heat 2, Talisa Engel of Germany and Firdavsbek Muzabekov of Uzbekistan. Svetkhanov of Kazakhstan in third place, a little bit further back. And he will just about make the final. Here it is, Engel and Muzabekov separated, I think, by alphabetical order as to who gets lane 4. That's how close it was. Ihar Boki in lane 3. Another great race lined up.
You're loving it, aren't you, Steve? Loving it.
Absolutely. Here comes the next event, the women's race. And quickly run you through the start list as they make their way in here. Just the one heat of this one. Zhu of China, Jones of Australia, Kyoto of Greece, Suzuki of Japan, Redfern of Great Britain, Young USA, Endralak Germany, Reuter USA and Ferreira South Africa.
Well, taking it out well in lane 4 is Paralympic silver medalist Rebecca Redfern of Great Britain, looking very strong here. She's got Colleen Young, who's the world champion from the United States of America. One lane up from her in lane 5, she got bronze behind Redfern at the Paralympics back in Brazil. But here Rebecca Redfern looking very strong. Colleen Young did have a good turn, did have a good underwater. Rebecca Redfern has lost a little bit of her lead, and Colleen Young looks to be picking up the pace. Rebecca Redfern looking really good here, and actually they only need to drop one athlete to make the final this evening, barring any disqualifications. So it's all about doing what you need to do to feel good ahead of the race time when the medals are up for grab this evening. And here Rebecca Redfern, she led from start to finish. She will touch in a very comfortable 116.56.
Yeah, special championships this for Rebecca Redfern. She read the athlete's oath at the start of it. And some very, very happy Greeks alongside us in the stands here. They're going absolutely crazy for Evangelina Chiotti in lane 2. You know when you've got your headphones on and you can hear a roar from about 20 metres down the row, you know it's loud. That was a great swim from Chiotti, picks up third, and her coaches and teammates absolutely loved it. Second place went to Colleen Young of USA. Championship record, by the way, for Rebecca Redfern, taking that off Colleen Young from what she swam in Mexico City 2 years ago. Great swim from Redfern. There we go, confirmed results. Redfern and Young battled it out at the front. Evangelina Chiotti of Greece in the mix later on. Suti likewise. An African record for Alani Ferreira in 7th for South Africa. Well, they're making some noise inside the aquatic centre.
I think they're trying to encourage quiet for the start, so they're letting them make as much noise as possible when there's no one behind the stop block.
Trying to wear them out, you reckon?
Yep. Ready?
They're having fun, that's the main thing.
The Greek coach could join in there.
He's still absolutely buzzing. He's still stood up and still shaking his fist. We'll have to try and grab a word with Greece in the interval and figure out exactly why they're so delighted. You have a guess, but I wouldn't want to put words in his mouth. They are absolutely delighted with Viotti. Here comes the next race then, 50-meter S5 fly. Starting off for the men, a packed pool in this one. Krogius, Kubasov, Seeger, Iroglu, Diaz, Plotnikov, Kabashev, Songwishan, Ottarachi, and Sanchez. Plenty of very different styles in this one. Daniel Diaz, the Brazilian legend, goes in lane 4. You've got loads of competition in this race. It's not going to be easy for him to break through.
Well, Alexei Kavashev of the Ukraine in lane 6, the athlete opting to start in the water. But here we see the best start. They're coming from Jamari Siga of Malaysia, that underwater phrase, but that familiar cap, the yellow cap of Daniel Diaz is up now and into his stroke. He has company from Russian Igor Plotnikov, who only uses his legs. He only has legs to drive him through. And there we see Daniel Diaz, all 4 limbs impaired, but a superb butterfly swimmer will come in to take this first heat.
Strong swim too, 35.27 for Daniel Diaz. Plotnikov picks up second for Russia. Third will go to Turkey's Beytullah Eroglu. Nice embrace there between Diaz and Iroglu too.
Well, Daniel Diaz, so dominant so often in this S5 category, but similar to Ihal Boki earlier, who saw in the breaststroke, if there is a weak link, and we would by no means call it a weak link, it is this event that he often gets challenged by the specialists. And this is the one that he struggles the most with to finish on the top spot. But what a first heat. He signalled his intent. We know he's in good form.
Yeah, beautifully done for Daniel Diaz. He wins heat number 1 in front of Plotnikov and Iroglu. Had a DQ in that race as well. Gustavo Sanchez didn't make it all the way through. Henrik Krogius, by the way, who finished in 9th place for Finland, has got a lot of noise being made for him and plenty of Finnish flags being flown. It's not just about those athletes right at the top of the tree. Here comes a full list in the second heat. Men's 50 fly S5. Rocha, Duric, Ponce-Bertrand, Daliev, Wang, Semenenko, Chernyayev, Kuran, Karimi, and Kutlu. That's Karimi representing the independent Paralympic athletes flag. First athlete flying under such a banner to win a World Championship medal. Did that in Mexico City. One of the great adverts for the movement itself.
Darko Duric there of Slovenia. This is a combined event and he is the only athlete in the S4 category. Away well in that centre lane is the new world record holder, Wang Lichao of China. He comes into this event as the pre-race favourite with a similar stroke. 1 lane up from him is European champion Yaroslav Semenenko of the Ukraine. They are neck and neck at the moment, breathing the same way. Semenenko trying just to edge ahead as they come into this final few meters, and it will be Semenenko that gets the touch.
Great swim that from Semenenko. Championship record time as well, 34.15. They are tumbling at this meet. Quite a fair few world records, but the championship records have been flying off the shelves in London. Another one goes this morning. Yaroslav Semenenko of the Ukraine. Second place goes to the world record holder Wang Lishao of China. And Siazbek Daliev of Kazakhstan picked up third. That is a very, very tight looking race. Always is over 50. And with plenty of very talented swimmers who've made the final. Looking forward to that one later on as well.
Hate to tell you, Steve, but more excitement coming your way.
Never, ever hate to tell me that. It's been fantastic at these championships. It really has. And we don't want to get ahead of ourselves because I'm not sure night 3 can be topped, but sport always surprises you. The beauty of it. Best drama around because you cannot script it. The results are still on their way down the tube. We are just waiting for them to be confirmed by our officials. Having a look down on poolside, a couple of conversations happening. I'm ready to start the rumour that there might be a disqualification. With the nature of how these officials are having a conversation. Just got to wait for those to become official. Still waiting in the venue, and a fair few of the swimmers as they get back in their chairs and reattach prosthetics are having a bit of an anxious look over at the scoreboards. It's never a nice feeling, this, for a swimmer. You start to really microanalyse your race and think, what did I do? Could it be me?
It was always my thing. I could never celebrate until the confirmed result comes up, even if it's the biggest race. It was always one of my biggest fears that I'd do that thing where you jump in the air, celebrate, and then realise it wasn't you.
Like waking up from a dream and realising it wasn't real. Well, plenty of support in the house for various different nations. Saw a sign there for young Ellie Chalice, the S3 swimmer from Great Britain.
Up next.
He is. Gave a great account of herself yesterday in an SM4 medley. Her first experience of a world race.
He's like the coolest teacher ever now to these young people.
My favourite part about that is, and we'll get to that in a moment, as the results have just come in for us, there has been a DQ, and it's for Darko Duric of Slovenia. Yaroslav Semenenko wins it, championship record. Wang in second, Siazbek in third. And those are the confirmed finalists for the 50 fly S5 tonight. Semenenko will go in lane 4. My favourite part about that teacher sitting in the middle of all the children is he looks almost like Will Ferrell, an elf, sat in the classroom. About 3 times the size of all his primary schoolers. But it's really nice to see. We've used the word legacy all week, and it really is important, and it really is something that this park aims to achieve every single day. Here's the start list then for our next event, women's butterfly S5. Ellie Chalice swimming up a couple of categories, an S3 swimmer for Great Britain. Elsewhere, Natalia Chevelle, Ariana Tanamona, Samia Bayacci, Gina Burtka, and Brenda Larry. Burtka and Larry, both S4 swimmers. Ellie Chalice, the only S3.
This S5 women's 50 metre butterfly is a combined event, so there are 3 sets of records being chased, but only 1 set of medals up for grabs. And here we see going well in that centre lane. It is European bronze medalist Sumey Boakci of Turkey here, but now Arianna Talamona with that great arm pull for Italy, starting to overhaul the early leader. She's breathing to the side so she won't see the swimmer. Head down, really strong there, going very well. And this is Talamona's, but Boakci doing everything she can to stick with her as we come into the wall.
Going to be quite close. It was really close. Talamona just beating Boakci to it. Just 900ths in it. Chevelle coming in third place. Big cheer for Ellie Chalice here as she touches in.
Well, no wonder Ellie Chalice just smashed her British record. Her previous record was 61.49.
Wow.
And if results are confirmed, she's just gone to 58.3. Exactly the reason that young athletes should be brought to major championships ahead of Paralympic Games, so they can gain that experience, they can gain that exposure, develop their skills, tactics and preparations, and deliver performances like that.
Yeah, wonderful moment that for Ellie Chalice, just trying to pick out Team Chalice in the crowd. They are looking pretty happy with that, giving Ellie a big wave as she gets out. He's going to delay on results here. Well, let's just go back to that conversation we were having before the start of this race, Liz, about legacy. We've got a full spectator gallery there. All the people who are cheering, waving flags, really enjoying the para-swimming, and all of them, well, not quite all of them as we spoke about with that teacher, but most of them are below the age of about 10. It's really, really important that they get introduced to this early on and get to figure out the ways of the world.
Yeah, exactly, and realising that everybody's normal is different, and it's okay to be you, and this exposure is brilliant.
I tell you what, Ellie Chalice didn't just swim a British record, Liz. It's a European record for Ellie Chalice of Great Britain. 58.3 in the S3 class. Sumey Boakci DQ'd in second place. Arianna Talamona, 47.14, well in front of the rest of the field. And Talia Chevelle with 50.33. Gina Butker swimming in the S4 class, swimming a championship record. As Liz rightly mentioned at the start of the race, each class can swim their own records, but only one set of medals on offer. Here comes the lineup in the Heat 2 then. Perales, Ojtürk, Goretti, De Silva, Sontag and Felices. I think they've just told the athletes to relax on the podium whilst they make their final preparations. And now we're good to go. Heat number 2 on the way.
Well, all athletes in this heat are in the S5 category, so only one set of records being chased here. The best start, the full use of that underwater from Sevilla Ojtürk of Turkey. She is the silver medalist from the European Championships. We've seen her in some relays already this week, and she is maximising that start that she has, because she knows that the athletes behind will be chasing her down as the lactic acid starts to build up in her legs, and they feel like they are burning her muscles. But she's got her head down and she's going for that wall. Teresa Perales, a Paralympic legend for Spain, coming through, doing really well in an outside lane here. And Joana De Silva holding on to third for Brazil.
Here comes the finish then, and it is Ojtürk who wins it. 45.8 for the Turk. Teresa Perales second with 47 dead. A huge beaming smile on the face of Sevilay Ojtürk And that is lovely to see. Teresa Perales straight over to give her a big hug. Very much two different ends of the experience scale. Perales has been there and done it over so many games, so many championships, so many years. Sevilay Öztürk, the youngster from Turkey, embraced by a great Paralympic champion. That's a lovely moment. Can't help but raise a smile. One of the most infectious smiles I've ever seen Teresa Perales. Well, here's your results of heat number 2. Those two, 1 and 2. De Silva with a good time for Brazil as well in third. Julia Goretti went well. And Peggy Zontag will sneak into the final in an outside lane as well. Here is that final for you. Öztürk and Perales will headline it in the middle lanes. Ariana Talamona will go from lane 3. De Silva and Goretti will offer a threat from the outside. Men's 50-meter backstroke S3 is next. And to start this for you, Pani Bratets of Ukraine, Belyaev, Russia, Martinez, Spain, Boney, Italy, Palamarchuk, Ukraine, Top, Germany, and Liu, China. There is Yositov of Germany. Belyaev of Russia lowered in. Vincenzo Boney, that familiar blue hat of Italy. Lots of different styles being utilised here.
There we see as they get away. This is Vincenzo Boney of Italy's first chance to get involved in his country's success of this World Championship. He is the European champion, he is the world silver medalist, he is the Paralympic bronze medalist. So he would be looking to add a World Championship title to all of those medals. But the best starts are coming from the top end of the pool. Liu Benyang of China in lane 7. The young German Hazaya Toth started very well too, but now we see the strength of the athletes in the middle lanes. Serhiy Palamarchuk of the Ukraine in that white cap doing all he can to catch the Chinese leader Liu from early on, but it is Liu that gets the touch. Palamarchuk takes the second place, Vincent Boney third.
Yeah, good race that from Liu Benyang of China.
Well, he just went 11 seconds quicker than his entry time.
Over a 50. That is amazing. And that's part of why we love these championships. You just never know what you're going to get, especially a year out from a Paralympics.
Outside smoker.
Yeah. One of my favourite swimming terms, that. You beat me to it, I can't believe it. 48.09 though for Liu, just in front of Palamarchuk. 48.92 for the Ukrainian. Vincenzo Boney picks up third place in that one. He'll been itching to get going, watching his teammates' successes this week. And he goes well in 49.99. Here's the start list then for Heat 2. Zarate, Mexico. Patterson, Australia. Jude, China. Lopez, Mexico. Ostapchenko, Ukraine. Kaosri, Thailand. Otovsky, Poland. And Zoldazbayev, Kazakhstan.
There again we see a variety of starts. The rule is that you have to be touching the wall at the start. How you do that is limited by your impairment, and athletes look to maximize their start and get up into their strokes as quickly as possible. And we see here the person who has done exactly that is lane 4 Mexican world champion Diego Lopez Diaz. He enjoyed home success, and now he's looking to add to that here at the 2019 World Championships. High stroke rate from him as he comes into the flags for the final 5 meters. Close race behind him, but the victory, 43.47. Diego Lopez Diaz looked unstoppable there.
That's a massive new championship record as well. It was held by the Mexican from Mexico City. That was 46.38. Shaves the best part of 3 seconds off that. 43.47. That is lightning quick from Diego Lopez in lane 4. Second place is Denis Ostapchenko in lane 5, and then Julian Kang in 3rd place. Rest of the field are all in. But he was one of the stars of the Mexican Championships 2 years ago. It was Diego. Championship records and a gold medal.
You can see from that underwater there the high turnover, all of the power coming from his shoulders. No individual movement of his arms. He relies on his chest and his shoulders to get him through the water quickly.
Did it beautifully. And those results are confirmed. Diego Lopez, championship record, 43.47. Denis Ostapchenko picks up 2nd, and Julian Kang in 3rd. Here is your final then later on. Diego Lopez and Liu Benying will compete in the middle lanes. Denis Ostapchenko going the same time as Liu from heat number 1. And the likes of Vincenzo Boney are in the outside. You know it's a high standard race. Speaking of which, here comes the men's 50 meter backstroke S4. This should be a great race. Thomas Glavinka, Mitrovino Radet, Cameron Leslie, Roman Zhdanov, Ivan Fernandez, and Tommy Braja. Roman Zhdanov has been almost unstoppable this week. Cameron Leslie of New Zealand could be the one to stand in his way. We've got 2 heats of this one. World record holder Arnold Petrocek of Czech Republic goes in heat 2. Just have a feeling, having watched Roman Zhdanov this week, he is flying.
All eyes on those centre lanes. The in-form Roman Zhdanov of Russia in lane 5 against Cameron Leslie of New Zealand. Absent from his favourite event, the 100 metre 50 medley. But he's here. He's fresh off a plane from Korea. He helped his wheelchair rugby team, the All Blacks, qualify a place for Tokyo. And now it's back to business in the pool. But here we see it is Zhdanov who's having the better race at the moment, controlling this heat from the front.
In they come under the flags, and it will be Zhdanov to take out Cameron Leslie. Wowee, what a time, Roman Zhdanov. A world record in the heats. We said he's on form, we said he's on fire. Roman Zhdanov is unstoppable this week. a world record in the morning, in the AM.
That's a bit worrying because he looks pretty calm, pretty chill, pretty relaxed. That is danger signs for the other competitors. He sent that signal in the slower of the two heats.
Well, we expected him to be quick. I don't think we expect him to be that quick. Roman Zhdanov, the new world standard in the 50-meter backstroke S4. He's already got a world record this week. He's already got plenty of medals. He has been in stunning form, and he is a backstroke specialist. But goodness me, we didn't think he'd go quite that quickly. 41.5, tenth of a second and change inside the old one set by Arnold Petrocek in Berlin 2 years ago. Well, the former world record holder is still to come. That's the dynamic, isn't it, the heats, that you get the chance to respond. You get to watch your world record go and you can do nothing about it. Roman Zhdanov then, a world record, 41.5 in heat number one. Leslie and Vino Radet second and third. Well, Arnold Petrocek, over to you, my good man. He goes in lane 4 of heat number 2, alongside Manuel Martinez of Spain, Ariel Malia of Israel, Jesus Hernandez, Match Topkin, Gustavo Sanchez and Hamit Demir. Oh, what must be going through Arnold Petrocek's mind? He will know all the rules in your own race, only think about yourself. But it is impossible not to have that in the back of your mind, at best, when you're about to swim.
It is also impossible to ignore the announcement when it flies around the venue. But Arnold Petrocek, he is an ultimate professional. He had a brilliant 2017. He broke the world record of back-to-back competitions, first in Sheffield, then better in it in Berlin. He knows what to do. He can only focus on his race. Got a completely different style and technique to Zhdanov due to their impairments. And there we see that wonderful butterfly kick that drives Petrocek to the wall, under the flags, 5 meters to go. He will hit the touchpad with his head to take the victory in the second heat.
It was very close to world record pace, so I was keeping an eye on it from Arnold Petrocek. 42.41. It would have been a new championship record had Zhdanov not beaten him to that in first heat. Very good from Petrocek. He's got a new world standard, and he will have to go hard tonight to overtake Roman Zhdanov. And the frightening thing from a Czech perspective there is Zhdanov looked like that was a warm-up swim.
Yeah, he did. He looked very comfortable, but I've seen him on the podium. He always looks pretty relaxed. I feel like that he's just someone who's in check of his emotions. He's still only 21. Plays it cool. So, but it is, again, we say it, but more excitement in store this evening.
Good swim from Petrocek to take down heat number 2. Would have been inside championship record time before Zhdanov did what he did in heat number 1. Hernandez picks up second for Mexico. Matt Stopkin of Estonia finishes up in third. There we go then, advancing through to the final, Roman Zhdanov. WR next to his name. Arnold Petrocek and Cameron Leslie, second and third. They'll occupy lanes 5 and 3. Just when we thought we'd seen it all last night, this event continues to surprise you. Next up is the women's 50 back S4. Here's the start list: Yang, Rodriguez, Ribeiro, Sanatopoulou, Burka and Larry.
Well, a busy morning for lane 6, Germany's Gina Burka. She's only just got out of that S5 women's 50 fly, and she's back in the water. But it is that bright green suit in the centre lane for Alexandra Stavatopoulou. The Greeks could cheer again here. No goggles, that flat head though. Look at that high stroke rate. Again, an athlete that drives her stroke from her shoulders. You can see her trying to use that twist to get as deep as she can, get as much water as she can. But there she is, the favourite in this first heat. Also going well. Up in lane 7 is Brenda Lari of Malaysia with that fly kick, another outside smoker.
Yeah, and they come then, and it will be young lady in lane 4. Really nice swim from Alexandra Stavatopoulou of Greece. 52.67. It's very nicely done indeed. Butkova takes second place from lane number 5. Quite a way back as well. And Brenda Lari of Malaysia out on the outside. No, Stavatopoulou looks pretty pleased with her efforts. And the Greeks in the stands along from us, not going quite as crazy as they did about 20 minutes ago, but more of a satisfied smile. Great swim from Stavatopoulou. And a great swim in the outside from Brenda Lari as well. 58.12, going sub-60 the Malaysian. Thumbs up. That'll do it. Official results, women's 50 backstroke S4 heat 1. Stavatopoulou wins at 52.67. Butkova second, Lari third. Okay, to start this then for the second heat, and a cluster of Ukrainians occupy the middle lanes. Gabdalina and Sigurdardottir of Kazakhstan and Iceland respectively are in 1 and 2. Then it's Safonova, Verbova and Sviderska of Ukraine, and Trimi and Michkova of Italy and the Czech Republic on the outside.
Well, there they get away well. That double arm pull of Marina Verbova of the Ukraine in that centre lane. We've seen that her backstroke is in really good shape this week. She led the 150-metre individual medley for a large part of the race, thanks to her brilliant backstroke, eventually settling for a silver there after being caught up by USA's Leanne Smith. But here we see she is dominant as we go down this last 15 metres of the race. Look at that strong double arm stroke, propelling her through, keeping her flat in the water, going really well. A battle behind her from Olga Stuveska, the bronze medalist from the Europeans, and Ariola Trimi, the freestyle specialist for Italy. But there was nobody else in that picture at the front there other than Marina Verbova of the Ukraine.
Such a good backstroker, isn't she? Quite rightly mentioned, we saw it in the medley earlier on this week, and that result was never really in doubt from Marina Verbova. 50.81 is pretty nippy for the heats. Sviderska looking at second, not quite an all-Ukrainian front three. Ariola Trimi of Italy continues her great week. She picks up third in that one. Yeah, freestyle specialist. But Verbova, this is her race, the backstroke. She does enjoy it. And a swim like that, you can see why. 50.81, the Ukrainian wins heat 2. Results are still unofficial on the pool deck at the moment. And they are official now, confirmed, no DQs. Babova and Swiderska lead the pack in Heat 2, Trimi in third, Safonova in fourth, all going below the 60-second barrier. And here is your final setup for later on. Babova will take on Stamatopoulou in the middle lane. Swiderska, Trimi, Butkova and Larry will offer the threat from the outside. Again, a race where you wouldn't be surprised to see medals come from all over. Babova, though, will head in as a big favourite. Our next event is quickly upon us, and this really, really will be entertaining. The S11 races, as we've talked about all week, always have that element of the unknown. None more so than the 200-metre individual medley. Serbin, Ukraine, Belousov, Russia, Gunnarson, Iceland, Kimura, Japan, Smirnov, Ukraine, Bellarmino, Pereira, Brazil, Zhang, China, Feinberg, Germany. A reminder, these athletes completely blind. They swim with blacked-out goggles to ensure that everyone is on a level playing field and there's no light perception. They will utilise tappers at both ends of the pool, and in the medley, that is unbelievably crucial to get their turns spot on. Because we're often in awe of the S11 swimmers, whatever they're swimming, but in a medley, we talk about things that could go wrong. In a medley, that almost becomes doubled, maybe even tripled.
Absolutely, and we talk about the importance of these athletes using those lane ropes to direct them down the pool. And if you're on butterfly, if you pick a lane and you get caught, even in training, if you hit somebody else's arm, it really, really hurts. But here, going very well down the first butterfly length is Kichi Kimura of Japan, the bronze medalist from Glasgow in 2015. The Japanese athletes we've seen here really stepped it up. They're gathering momentum into their home Paralympic Games. Also going well in lane 2 is Kirill Belousov of Russia. And we talk about a lot of the Russians that are making their comeback or getting this opportunity to compete at a major championships at a world level for a first time, taking it on from these outside lanes. And here we see there's just so much potential within this pool at the moment, as the Russian will come in to take the turn and take the lead at the halfway stage. There we saw up and into the breaststroke. A brilliant pull out there from Kimura of Japan, getting back on level terms and straight up and into the lead. You can just about see the yellow hat at the top of your shot. A 50-metre champion earlier this week, Wendell Bellarmino Pereira of Brazil. And the stalwart Viktor Smirnov, he's a silver European Championship medalist. He's a silver medalist from the Paralympic Games. He always is there or thereabouts. He's been competing since Athens 2004 with multiple major championship medals to his name of all colours. But here, Kimura, as they come into the final turn, that tap on the head, the perfectly, you would normally say spotted finish, but obviously these S11 athletes don't spot the finish, but a perfectly timed finish up and into the freestyle. He's looking strong. But here now we see it is Mark Gunnarsson of Iceland, who also experienced a taste of podium success in that 50 freestyle, picking up his first bronze medal. Now having a brilliant leg as we come back, and he's reeled Viktor Smirnov in, and we can't see him, he's slightly out of shot. Here is that 50 freestyle champion, Bellarmino Pereira, finishing strongly. Whoa. It's very tight behind Kimura of Japan, but he will take the touch.
Well, we cannot wait for that race later on. Bellarmino Pereira there, finishing like a train for Brazil. Miles off the pace at the end of the breaststroke. The difference in the freestyle was frightening. Reined in a swimmer as quick as Smirnov. No trouble at all. Kimura was getting caught by Smirnov towards the end there, but held on really well. The Japanese Good swim that. Really impressed with his breaststroke in particular. It's always a difference maker in a medley, the breaststroke, and well, none more so there. It was really, really nicely done. And for heat number 1, great race.
Absolutely, that breaststroke, and so often breaststroke is the telling tale, but we say if you have got one stroke that is considerably better than everybody else's, as we saw there with Bellarmino Pereira on that freestyle leg, anything is possible in an individual medley, and that's what makes it so exciting. The lead can change hands many times. Look at this finish, so close at the end, the tap so important. Pereira getting tapped halfway down his back. But again, every athlete has their preference. They can choose the length of the tapper stick. They are the ones who choose who taps them. And also a preference of where they get tapped, though that doesn't always go quite to plan.
No, quite.
Here are those goggles just being checked now, confirmed that they are indeed completely blacked out. And then hopefully we will get a confirmation of the results for that first heat.
Great swim from Kaimura. Surely the Japanese team will have taken a lot of heart and a lot of confidence from what happened last night with Naohide Yamaguchi's world record. Bellarmino Pereira, second place behind the Japanese. Viktor Smirnov, the old-timer, still got it in third. Kirill Belousov of Russia in fourth. Bit of a gap then until fifth place. Here comes heat 2 then. Menezes, Portugal. Yang, China. Zudzelav, Belarus. Dorsman, Netherlands. Tomita, Japan. Cantero, Spain. Smichka, Czech Republic. And Cabraja, Canada.
There is Roger Dorsman. He comes into this as considerably the quickest in the field. The Netherlands swimmer, we saw him have a great butterfly swim, a great breaststroke swim. He's halfway there.
Second Japanese swimmer in the heats. Kaimura went beautifully. Tomita might take heart from that. So Roger Dorsman here is the quickest entrant into this event, and he's looked really, really good over the first few days of this competition in a multitude of events without really leading one and taking one out and taking one by the scruff of the neck. Maybe the medley is perfect for him because he's very good at all the strokes. He's not quite got that specialty in one to push him above the rest.
Absolutely, but inspired by that first heat, it's Uta Tomita of Japan in lane 5 who's taken it out down this first fly leg. He's almost 2 seconds ahead of Dorsman. And European Championship bronze medalist Yuri Zudzelav of Belarus is currently in third position.
See the athletes using the lane ropes there to help guide them.
Dorsman going very well on this backstroke leg. He has closed up that gap considerably on the early leader Tomita of Japan. As we come into the turn now, we should get a great view of these tapping sticks. Perfectly tapped there, Dorsman. Great contrasting turns there, Dorsman going for the swivel turn, whereas the Japanese athlete choosing to do a flip. Both very successful, still together. Roger Dorsman, though, we saw him have a brilliant breaststroke earlier, and he's got, there he goes again. Like there we see, though, he was going straight down the lane, and unfortunately he's just bounced off the lane rope, which is what happened in one of his races earlier this week, which is what cost him the overall victory. But there's no question about the quality of his strokes and the speed that he has as he goes into this final turn. He has opened up 10 meters worth of lead almost, and there is no question that he is going to take this heat out.
Yes.
Who will be behind him?
Oh, sorry, Liz. Giant lead for Roger Dorsman. This huge lead. I've got the world record holder in this race. He goes in lane 2, Yang Pro-Shun, 5th place at the minute. He set that world record in London. The Chinese legend. That's at 2:22.4. And Roger Dorsman not a million miles outside of it. A brand new championship record that's been smashed. That was held by Israel Oliver of Spain. Set that back in Montreal. It was 2:25.9, now 2:23.26. I think Roger Dorsman really fancies this. He's tasted the podium. He knows what it's like. He would love a World Championship gold. It's the only thing that's missing for him. Uchu Tomita of Japan will join his teammate Keiichi Kaimura, flanking the Dutchman in the final. Should everything go to plan with the goggle check. Grigory Zudzalav of Belarus was in 3rd there. There you see how the swimmers use those lane ropes. I'm going to swim right underneath them. For those who never touch the lane rope, they don't tickle when you get into contact with them.
No, they're pretty sharp, more like a cheese grater.
Dorsman there, getting the tap, knew what he had to do, and came home really strongly. Here's the goggle check then for Roger Dorsman.
He looked phenomenal in that race.
So strong.
I think that's one of the most composed races I've seen him put together, start to finish.
Still waiting for the results in the venue here as they conduct the last of the goggle checks. And that is now confirmed inside the venue. Dorsman with a championship record, 2:23.26. What a swim from the Dutchman. Tomita in 2nd, Zudzalav of Belarus in 3rd. And it sets up an exciting final. Roger Dorsman then will be in the middle of Tomita and Kaimura, the 2 Japanese swimmers either side of him in lane number 4. Keep an eye on Wendell Bellarmino Pereira in that final. His freestyle is something to behold, and if he's in with a shout with 50 meters to go, he will fancy his chance of getting onto the podium. Well, from one fantastic Dutch S11 swimmer to another as well. Lisetta Brunsma goes in lane 4 in heat number 1 of the women's 200 meters individual medley S11. Just the one heat for the women. They will be dropping one athlete for tonight's final. So as we mentioned earlier, it's more about finding rhythm, doing whatever makes you feel comfortable in this event to get you ready for later on. There is Lisetta Brunsma, the quickest entrant into this race this year. A good 5.5 seconds quicker than the rest of the field. And a reminder, those swimmers like the swimmer in lane 3 is Marina Podubna of Ukraine. If they are not wearing the black type goggles, it means they don't have eyes to black out, as it were. Lisetta Brunsma off to a good start, and herself and Roger really carrying the flag here for the Netherlands today.
Yeah, and it's great, you know, it is always great when you get the momentum, when you've got 2 athletes that deliver back-to-back races. It does pick up the rest of the squad and the rest of the team, and actually Brusna's recovered well here, because Marina Podubna of the Ukraine, she did take out the early lead, but she got a bit tangled on the lane rope. And here we see and they've gone to the same lane rope now. So as you can see under the water there, that's a brilliant shot to show you the way that they're stroking, and you can end up stealing each other's water. So then the question is, do you make the decision to wait it out and hope that you're the one that stands true, or do you do what Lisette Brunsma's done and actually go and look for the other lane rope? But it's cost her, because now she's probably swum an extra metre, and it took her a while to get there, and actually it just unsettles you. Whereas Podubna stood her ground, and now you can see she's gone and opened up a 2-body length lead as we come in at the halfway point.
So those of us who've never experienced the idea of stealing water in a competitive swimming environment, is it almost like when you're on a trampoline, you steal someone's bounce? Is that almost what
Similarly,
it's like?
yeah. So, and actually, if like you would hope that other than the S11, no one should ever steal anyone's water in competition, but you do find it in training sometimes. If you push off at the wall in a lane next to someone and you're going at the same pace as them, obviously the idea of swimming is that you get on top of the water, you get hold of it, and then you use it to leverage yourself forward. But if you go to grab it and someone else has already taken that water, you essentially just slip through it. It's kind of like taking an air shot in tennis.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Totally,
yeah.
Totally makes sense.
But while we were having that discussion, Lisette Brunsma got some fire in her belly, a brilliant breaststroker, and so often we see that breaststrokers can be breaststroke specialists, and Podubna's so good at freestyle, she's so good at the other S strokes, that breaststroke is her weakest leg, and there, in this heat, Lisette Brunsma has punished her for that, and used it to her advantage, and now she is the one with the lead, considerable lead as we come into this final 25 metres.
Yes, kicking really hard here, Lisette Brunsma as well. Really taking it out hard. Wants to be in lane 4 for the final, obviously, and she will be. There comes the tap, here comes the finish, and that is a championship record for Lisette Brunsma. Fantastic. She owns the world record, set that last year at the European Championships in Dublin of 2:46. That time, 2:47.2. Really quick from Lisette Brunsma. Championship record has stood since Montreal in Canada in 2013. And Lisette Brunsma has been informed of her victory, pending the goggle check. Gave a big wave to her supporters in the stands.
Well, we talk about the similarities between her and her compatriot Roger Dorsman, who we saw go in the heat before, and they both actually were a similar distance off the respective world records for their events. The difference is, of course, Brunsma already holds hers, whereas Dorsman is challenging to take down that great world record.
The Dutch have already been very, very loud in this pool this week. Can you imagine if they go back-to-back golds and back-to-back world records? They're going to be jumping into the pool from the stands.
Well, that's what we were saying last night when you said, have you ever experienced anything like that? That's what used to happen. You'd get a country that would dominate a class or a couple of events, and then you'd get that roar, but it would be that level of intensity that the whole venue felt last night would be felt by maybe a squad. Whereas last night, what made the difference was the intensity was felt by everybody. And you're right, the Dutch, they're always well-travelled, the supporters. They're always noisy, they're always smiley, and it would be great to see them rewarded.
Yeah, big beaming smile from Lisette Brunsma. So it's one of these sort of images that we've become very used to watching in international para-swimming. She really does love what she does.
Yeah, the thing is, as we've said so many times, anything can happen in these SM11 events.
Yeah, totally right. Coach just chatting. And Lisette Brunsma, here's the Dutch support. She has got her own banner there. There it is. You can always tell where the Dutch are because they're wearing orange. Any sport, anywhere you go, you can always spot the Dutch. There's the results then. We do drop one swimmer. It will be Kanchan Malapande of India. The rest will all make the final. Lisette Brunsma goes through in a championship record time, 6.5 seconds ahead of Marina Podubna of Ukraine. Here comes our next event then, and we're getting towards the end of the programme this morning. Not too many races still yet to come. 400 metre freestyle is next up for the S8, first with the men and then the women. Here is the start list for heat number 1 for the men. Blake Cochrane, Zach Zona, Andrei Nikolaev, Inigo Lopez and Jonathan McGrath. And all of a sudden, you notice the Irish. There you go in the back of the picture. 4 giant Irish flags waving. Talk about well-travelled supporters. The Irish rival the Dutch in that aspect. Jonathan McGrath getting a lot of love here. He goes in an outside lane in these 400 metre heats.
Well, this could be interesting. They don't have to go too hard this morning. This is the slower heat in the sense that the way that the athletes are seeded, they get put in first. So the top seed would go automatically into lane 4 of heat 2, then the second would go into lane 4 of heat 1, then the third would go into lane 5 of heat 2, the fourth into lane 5 of heat 1, and so on and so forth until they've gone right down the entry list. So that is why the first heat is always described as the slower heat. But of course, that's all relative, and sometimes it can be by 100th of a second, or if people enter at the same time, then on alphabetical order. But here we see, going strongly down this first 100, putting his marker out, is Andrei Nikolaev of Russia, who said the Russians taking these heats as opportunities to show the world that they are back, to show the world what they are capable of. And it's Ingo Lopez-Sanz. He's the European champion in this event from Dublin last year. He is currently in second place for Spain. He has an arm impairment, and that sometimes is difficult on a 400 because it tends to be the further you're swimming, the distance events are driven by mostly your shoulders, and if you've got all 4 limbs that work, then the idea would be the way that you're taught to swim is for your legs to trail behind and just be used for balance. But obviously if your legs are your asset, then you have to use them from the word go, and the legs have the biggest muscle groups in them, so then that's where the burn builds up. And you hear people talk about lactic acid all the time. That's the waste product that the muscles produce when they're working hard, and the burn that you feel in your quads can become insufferable. So it's all about pacing it correctly so that you don't get too much of that too early on. And if you go out too hard, you can really pay the price in the second half of the race. But going well here at the halfway stage is the early leader Nikolaev of Russia, still with a commanding distance between him and the other athletes. Zach Zona of Canada going well here, keeping Lopez-Sanz company, and they are dragging along. Blake Cochrane in lane 2 of Australia, Johnny McGrath up there in lane 6, just out of shot at the moment in the white cap of Ireland. The Irish flags are waving, as you say, Steve. Always happy travellers, always happy supporters. They travel everywhere, the Irish supporters. They're a small team, but they are a tight team.
Yeah, they really are, and it's great to see Jonathan McGrath in this one. He's going along pretty nicely. Might just need to pick it up here into the second half of this race, though. A bit of work to do to keep in touch with Inigo Lopez and Blake Cochrane. Nikolaev, you're very right, going along really smoothly here. It's interesting to hear you give us your sports science lesson about lactic acid. Almost, I felt like you were feeling it as you were saying it, bringing back some memories for you, was it?
Tell you what, I remember those days. I don't miss them at all, but I do massively respect these athletes in the water because of it.
Well, the world record holder is Ollie Hines of Great Britain. I'm sure familiar to many watching this morning. He has a championship record as well, set that in Glasgow in 2015. And he did own the standard in this race for such a long time. 4:19.74 is a very, very quick world record. Just goes to show there is Nikolaev going on very well, touching in 4:06 in the heats. He'll be coming up right now as Ollie Heim will be finishing his world record time. He did that in Sheffield a couple of years ago on Forge.
Oh, here they come. This 400 meters freestyle feels like it's actually gone quite quickly. Blake Coughlin's done well, been steady all the way through. There was never any change or any danger of a change in the lead from Andrei Nikolaev of Russia, who takes this touch. But Blake Coughlin swam that very well indeed to get the second place touch from down in lane 2, with Zach Zona holding that third position for Canada.
And as McGrath touches in, the Irish flags are waving. There's not many athletes that'll miss out here in terms of these heats. So he'll be hoping he's done enough with his time to get a place in tonight's final. But there's the winner, Andrei Nikolaev, controlled and composed in the heat this morning.
We saw Blake Coughlin get that reaction time in that yellow hat, but there was no looking back. It was Andrei Nikolaev who looked in control. He looked comfortable all the way through that race. He was out on his own. That didn't matter to him. He found his pace. He settled into his rhythm. And there we see the arm-dominant stroke. He has a leg impairment. You can see his legs not moving at all there, not producing any kick. And there is that confirmation of the first place touch for Andrei Nikolaev of Russia in 4:40.44. Coughlin for Australia second. Zach Zona, Canada, getting that third place touch in that first heat.
Second heat on its way then. Here's the lineup in it. Maxim Borodayev, Ben Popham, Robert Griswold, Kiao Oliveira, Zhu Jiwa, Joshua Grubb. Robert Griswold, the American, has been busy this week, competing in lots of results in the SA class. Silver medal position in the 100 fly last night. Behind him was Finnish Mitchell Zakis, who's the 100 meter backstroke world champion as of day number 2. And he produced in the 400 free. He does enter as the quickest in the world this year.
Well, and this would definitely be considered the more dangerous heat. We saw in the first heat there were 5 athletes. There's 6 here, so we need to drop 3 in total to get through to the final. These athletes have the luxury of having witnessed that first heat. They know now what pace they need to go to make the final this evening. Of course, in swimming, there's 8 spots in a final. The 8 fastest athletes progress to that final, regardless of what heat they were in or what position they finish in. So it is all based on time. And there we see at the moment going well, it is Robert Griswold of America in lane 4, but he was taken out on that first 50, down that first 50 quickly by Zhu Zhuwa of China in lane 6. Caio Oliveira getting the third place touch after 100 meters. He was 4th in the Rio Paralympic Games, so he'll be really looking to try and get a place on the podium this evening. But there is a lot of competition. It's an exciting race, and we say again, it is poised to be quite a close tussle for the position on those medals. Podiums going well down in lane 1 or lane 2, but the lane closest to us is Maxim Borodayev of Russia. Another Russian in an outside lane, putting in a great performance. But Griswold here looking very strong. We know he's in good shape. We've seen him perform very well so far already. As you said, Steve, a few medals under his belt in his swimming bag. He'll be looking to add to those.
He's got a very busy programme, Robert Griswold, and this right in the meat of it, this competition, the 400 free for the S8s. Caio Oliveira coming up alongside him now.
Yeah, Caio is going to turn Oliveira at the halfway point, just in the lead by 7/100ths of a second. But Oliveira, a severe impairment in his legs, doesn't get any push off the wall hardly. But then he does, when he's up and into a stroke, he's got two big, strong arms, whereas Griswold has an impairment. His impairment affects his arms. So again, we see how the classification system plays out, and different athletes have different advantages at different points over an event, over a stroke, which is why there's 3 different classification groups, an S, an SB and an SM. S for the butterfly, backstroke and front freestyle, because they have similar movement patterns. SB, a completely different classification for breaststroke, because breaststroke is uses completely different muscle groups, is leg dominant. And then SM for the medley, which is a combination of all of the strokes, because the individual medley is exactly that, a combination of all the strokes. So as we see Griswold getting the advantage off the start and the turns, we see Caio Oliveira clawing him back as we go down the length, through the length. And as we turn into this final 100 metres, it will be Oliveira that takes lead. 0.6 the gap now, but Griswold won't be worried about that in the heat. Griswold has the opportunity to go to his legs, to his feet if he needs them. By that we mean he can start kicking, producing more power, and if he wants to challenge Oliveira. But here they see that he seems quite happy to let Oliveira do the work and take him out down this final 100 metres.
Yeah, Griswold has worked hard to get into this position, and he is safe in the knowledge that realistically, with his position in this race and what happened in Heat 1, that he will make it through to tonight's final, barring any disqualifications. Second behind Oliveira, and he looks happy to stay in that position at the minute. He might just offer us a little bit of a something down the final straight. Ben Popham is finishing strongly for Australia. Youngster, and it's going along very nicely. He is. The Griswold seems happy with this. Oliveira is tucking out really hard, giving us a bit of a leg kick as well towards the finish. A bit of splash coming off the back of his legs. Really good swim for the Brazilian. 4:41.62. And Griswold and Popham in behind. Popham putting Griswold right under pressure there at the end. But I don't think he beat him. I have to wait for the official results there, Liz. My eyes are seeing different things in the water and on the screen here. Just have to wait for that one.
Well, yes, there's no doubt about the winner, though. It was that man, Caio Oliveira of Brazil, getting the confidence boost of touching first in the heat.
Can confirm it was Robert Griswold in second place. Sorry to cut you off there, Liz. 4:42.74. Second, 2 seconds in front of Ben Popham. Bit of a panic as he looked up on the scoreboard initially. Those results are confirmed. Oliveira, Griswold and Popham.
It's true, that scoreboard has been causing swimmers to hold their breath a little bit when they come in and to finish.
Not what you need at the end of a 400.
No.
But confirmation of that result and confirmation of this final should be a good one. Nikolaev and Oliveira and Griswold will share the centre lanes. The two Aussies will offer a pretty good threat from the outside. Cochrane, the senior, Popham, the junior. Two very quick swimmers from down under. And that is another loaded final. And a great sense of anticipation here inside the aquatic centre, as the golden girl of this championship so far, Alice Tai, goes in lane 4 for the 400 freestyle S8. Kelly, Mark, Vinter, Tai, Palazzo, Barezzo, and the Chinese swimmer in the outside lane, that is Zhang. And this very much not Alice Tai's strongest discipline, the 400 free. She is the second quickest into this event. Jessica Long does love the 400 free. And is this the event where we're going to see Alice Tai dethroned?
Well, yeah, Alice Tai, she hasn't done a lot of 400-metre freestyles over recent years. It's added to her programme for this event, and we've seen that she's in incredible sprint form. Her and Jessica Long, obviously, that tight battle in the 100 butterfly last night. Alice Tai just edging Long by the smallest of margins, 200 into that wall on the fly. So there is revenge to be had if they're able to set up a final for this evening. Alice Tai, one of the few records she doesn't hold, even a British record. The British record that she is chasing is 4 minutes 45.67 seconds, and that is from Heather Fredrickson, set way back in March of 2009. So that is an old record. It is there for the taking. Alice Tai is in good form, so we'll have to watch the clock this evening. This morning, she'll look to settle into a rhythm, into a pace, lead from the front, and use her expertise to just watch the rest of the field and do enough, because she knows that Jessica Long is, as you say, Steve, the challenger this evening. That's the biggest challenge for her. If she wants a clean sweep of the medals, then she needs to be on fire.
Yeah, it's going to be a big test this for Alice Tai. We spoke yesterday about the fly being maybe her biggest test, but that's because the fly still felt like an event that Alice Tai would expect to take gold in, and would really want to take gold. And this is a little bit of a step into the unknown for Alice Tai, the 400 free. She is more of a sprinter.
Yeah,
she looks really strong at the moment.
Absolutely, and yesterday we saw in the butterfly how strongly Jessica Long came back. Alice Tai took it out because she knew she needed to. She had a significant lead at the halfway point, and then Jessica Long just clawed her back. That powerful, beautiful textbook stroke that Jessica Long is known for just reeled Alice Tai back in, and she ran out of swimming pool. In a 400-metre freestyle, there's a lot more swimming pools, and so therefore it would make sense that Jessica Long poised a lot more danger.
Alice Tai, so smooth and so strong in her stroke. She's an excellent freestyle swimmer.
Going well behind her, it is Palazzo of Italy, Xenia Francesca. She swam very well. Last year in Dublin, she won there. So again, the Italians really burst onto the scene with a whole new squad in Mexico in 2017. And as you mentioned before, Steve, the question was, is it because it's a diluted field? Is it because a lot of people haven't travelled? Because obviously the World Championships were rearranged due to the unfortunate earthquake. But it wasn't that, because they went from strength to strength then in Dublin, and here again they've just carried on with that momentum, and they are delivering time and time again. So Palazzo was one of those finds for them. She's currently that blue cap there, sitting very level with Amelie Winter of Denmark, a European champion herself, bronze medalist last time out. She's trying to edge herself ahead of the Italian, but as we said, it's all about feel this morning. If you can be in one of those earlier positions, then you hope to give yourself a chance of getting into that final comfortably this evening. So it's about finding your rhythm, getting on the right end of the touch when it does come down to those close battles. But looking at that shot there, the race is developing nicely, and Alice Tai leading that spearhead right from the centre lane of lane 4 as she comes in now to head under the flags, turn and hit for home.
Been so strong from Alice Tai. She's had such a wonderful week. Really has been an amazing championships for Alice. She leads out Amelia Winter and Xenia Francesca Palazzo by a fair distance here. And she comes towards home in a pretty comfortable time still. This isn't going to be an outrageous time from Alice Tai. She knew what she had to do coming into this. It's been smooth, it's been controlled, but it has been comfortable as well in terms of the lead and in terms of the result. She comes in then to take the touch. A fraction outside 5 seconds, 5:02.48. Massive celebration in the crowd from a very partisan and young support. Second place is going to go to Zheng Ting on the outside. It's actually going to be an Asian record for Zheng Ting. I think The placement is wrong on our scoring system. They have had a few gremlins in the system this morning with the official results. So quite a few swimmers, you can see, staring at the scoreboard with a little bit of confusion. We'll wait for those results to be confirmed. Amelia Vinter looks particularly perplexed. Her result all over the place at the moment on the scoreboard. But Zheng's time has registered as an Asian record, 5:11.54. Still working out the times on the score, but Alice Tai can afford herself a smile. Wave to the crowd as well. But she knows the hard work has barely even begun here. The real race will be tonight. And for probably the first time in the championships, she won't be the favourite. The results are confirmed. Amelia Vinter has been registered on the scoreboard in the venue as 5th, 6th, 7th. Eventually, she gets 2nd place, as she thought she got. A few seconds behind Alice Tai in 1st. Senior Francesca Palazzo takes 3rd. Zhen Ting Ting swims an Asian record in 4th place. There's a start list for Heat 2. Berg, Duskova, Pavlova, Long, Supio, Labrie, Jones and Munoz. Crowd inside the Aquatic Centre still not quite over that victory for Alice Tai. Eventually the silence comes and we may well have a start, although it looks down on the pool sides. Then it looks like we've got an issue with the starting pistol. Jessica Long relaxed and composed. She's seen all of this before. Won't bother her. Now she engages into game mode. Such a distinctive start. Such a beautiful freestyle stroke. Jessica Long is the favourite heading into this 400 metre freestyle. And why is that, Liz? What makes her such a good 400 metre swimmer above all else?
Well, you talk about her start, and the reason it's so good is because she's had to work so hard on minimising the deficit that she experiences from the other athletes that she races, because she is a double leg amputee, so she doesn't get that push off or that length from the block that everyone else has got. But in terms of and exactly that then continues through the 400 freestyle, and the reason that she is so dominant is the one stroke where she's given the most opportunity to overcome that difference that she experiences from the various athletes that she's raced throughout her career. I mean, we've talked about it all this week because Jessica Long's in the water so often, we do get to talk about her a lot, and she is an incredible athlete. She first burst onto the scene in Athens in 2004 as a 12-year-old. This was one of the gold medals she won. She won 3 gold medals on that first outing, and she has gone from strength to strength. Every World Championships since Athens 2004, so that was Durban 2006, that was Eindhoven in 2010, that was Montreal in 2013, Glasgow in 2015, Mexico in 2017. She has never lost this event because it is the one place where it doesn't matter her stroke gets the opportunity to show off just how good it is, and she gets the chance to overhaul those people that often have that advantage over her on the starts and the turns in the quicker event. She is a racer, and if there's any chance in a lane that she's got an opportunity to chase someone down, she will take it.
Yeah, it is a tremendous record she has got in World Championships. She's not the current Paralympic champion. That title belongs to Lakeisha Patterson of Australia. She's got a world record to do it, mind, back in 2016. She's not racing in this event. So Jessica Long does battle with Alice Ty of Great Britain.
We'll see Lakeisha Patterson later in the week in the S9 events for Australia, but here we see Jessica Long going very well, and we seem to be repeating ourselves a lot. We talk about the strength, and it's just anybody who knows anything about swimming will know just how difficult it is to get your freestyle arms to look like that when you don't have a leg kick. Anybody who knows nothing about swimming will look at that stroke and go, it's a beautiful stroke, it's a really strong, powerful stroke, and it is. But I think it's testimony to Jess and her coaching team over the years. She's moved from Baltimore, she's moved back to Baltimore, she went to Colorado Springs at the Olympic Training Center. She's tried a lot of things, and she's done everything she can in this 15-year career to make herself the best athlete. And there are swimmers watching at home, swimmers with legs that would kill to have a freestyle arm stroke and arm pull like that.
And the thing is with Jessica Long as well, you mentioned she's had such a long and storied career, World Championships and Paralympics since 2004. She actually took some time out after Mexico to take a bit of a break from the sport. She went and coached a swim team back in her home city of Baltimore in Maryland in the USA. And she said it helped sort of realise that this is still what she wanted to do. She still has that love of swimming, she still has that passion, she's still got that fierce competitive nature, and here we are a couple of years later, she's still battling away at the World Championships. She's got other stuff going on, got a wedding in less than a month, but it is remarkable to still see Jessica Long still going. She's still got plenty of time on her side.
Yeah, she's only 27 years old. She could keep going if she wanted to, but again, she has been doing this for a very long time. You have to take those breaks, you have to mix things up, you have to keep things fresh. But a lot of athletes talk about how they feel free in the water because it's the one time that you are reliant solely on your body, whatever your impairment or barriers might be. And Jessica Long she's the face of Paralympic sport in the USA. And so she has a lot of responsibility, a lot of other commitments and demands on her time. But that's, again, testimony to the athlete she is and the support staff and team that she has around her. Family are very important to her, that she has been able to maintain this level of performance for as long as she has.
Great swim from Jess Long. 450.29. Very nicely done indeed. It is quite a way quicker than Alice Ty in heat number one. The question is, how much did Alice Ty leave in reserve? It's the only unknown. It's a great swim from Jess Long. She will be a big favourite coming into tonight. If Alice Ty was to turn her over in the 400 freestyle, it really would be an unbelievable result for Great Britain. It's not out of the question, but that's the nature of the danger. Jessica Long, tremendous.
Super France, they're also somehow the European silver medalist. There will be a battle in this pool this evening. There you see just that long, strong, balanced pull. No movement from the legs. It's all that core, that twist from the core. It's a well-trained athlete to get to that point where you can have that level of balance.
.449.54 then for Jessica Long, and that was smooth and controlled by her standards. She does own the championship record. Seems fitting that she's won every one since 2006 that she would own that record. It's back in Montreal, 443.76. she'll be looking to go somewhere near that tonight. If she does, I'm not sure anyone will be able to stop her. Confirmed results then for the second heat, the women's 400 free. Jessica Long, 4:49.54, over 10 seconds in front of second place. France getting both second and third place there, Claire Supio and Claire Lebris. And they will both make the final. Jessica Long will have lane 4. She'll have Alice Tai and Claire Supio for company. Amelia Vincent of Denmark will look to take on Supio and Tai for those bronze and silver medals. Can anyone stop the great Jessica Long though? I wonder. Next event, one of our final individual events of the morning. Men's 100 back S6. Luchkin, Wang, Brunner, Sinovcic, Yang, Fantine and Sanchez. The lineup for heat number 1. Men's 100 back S6. Flight reports out.
Again, we see a range of starts, both Chinese athletes using a towel to anchor themselves to the wall and then maximize that push-off and get the underwater start up and underway. But it was David Sanchez-Sierra at the top of the screen for Spain in lane 7 that made the best use of the underwater. We see Wang Yingyang closest to us, out of the 2 Chinese athletes in lane 2 in that white hat. We saw him in the relay yesterday evening in fine form, so we know that he's in very good shape. But now as they come to the halfway turn, it is Dino Sinovic of Croatia, the European champion, that managed to crawl back the early leaders. We saw there he lost a bit of momentum off the turn. His impairment is in his legs, so that was to be expected, and now we'll see him trying to get back in front of the rest of the field. But Wang still going well for China. And Yang keeping Sinovic company in that middle lane. So a comfortable heat swim this morning for these athletes. They've opened up a fair gap between them and the rest of the pack.
Coming in to finish then, Dino Sinovcic of Croatia, 1:16.9 for the Croat. Second place, Yang Hong. Third, Wang Xingang. There is Dino Sinovcic. Looks fairly unimpressed with his own swim. Business as usual for the Croatian.
Often that can be the key for the heats. They're important in the sense that if you don't get through them, then there is no final. But then once you do get through them and you do your job, then it is all straight focus on the final. So it's one of those double-edged swords, really.
Yes, Sinovcic will be hoping to get himself onto the podium. Would be Croatia's first medal of the championships. Their best chance so far. Dino Sinovcic, 1:16.9, strong in the heats, backed up by Yang and Wang and Brunner, China and Germany respectively. Here comes the start list for heat number 2 then. Flanagan, Crispin, Lenski, D'Andrade, Glock, Miat and Videira.
Again, we see a range of impairments here across the pool. Alison Glock of Brazil in the yellow hat getting the best start. He is a double amputee, but all down one side. So we can see there he has a right arm and a right leg that will propel him through the water, as opposed to Mateus de Andrade of Argentina in lane 4, who has a lower leg amputation on both sides. So now we can see that strong arm pull of his bringing him through to the head of the pack, and he will be turning at the halfway point in first place.
Here they come then towards home, and it's De Andrade of Argentina leading the way. Had a good day so far, Argentina. Plenty of swimmers going in these heats and making it through to the finals. But similarly to Croatia, this will be probably their best chance of a gold medal. Matias De Andrade leads them out and brings them home underneath the flags. Very powerful backstroker. 114.7 is what he entered with this year. He's only going to be just outside of that. Powerful looking swim in the heats from De Andrade. He is the quickest through to the final later on. He will have lane 4. Lenski and Glock coming in quite a way behind. He sets up a battle between himself and Dino Sinovcic of Croatia for tonight's final. There's De Andrade, a little waggle of the finger. He knows that was a pretty impressive performance.
Yeah, he didn't look troubled there in that heat swim. Comfortable, new to the S6 category. But that didn't faze him either, as he dominated that second heat, sorry. And he will look to progress in lane number 4 for the final.
Those are the results of Heat 2 then. A good result for Myanmar's Ong Min Mat, 121.49. It's good enough for a place in the final for Myanmar's Myat. First time Myanmar athlete has made it through to the final at this championships. De Andrade and Sinovcic will be the leading lights in lane 4 and 5. Here comes the women's iteration. Here's the start list. Sakona, Svagentsieva, Schott, Jiang, Zavali and Ilish. Women's 100 meter backstroke S6. Well, we are well conditioned at this point to expect not necessarily the unexpected anymore from Jiang Yuyan, who lit up this championships on day number 1 with a world record in the 400 meter freestyle. Performed fantastically thereon as well. The surprise element has gone as she takes on a really competitive field in this event. What can we see from Jiang Yuyan?
Yeah, Jiang Yuyan was definitely the discovery of day 1. The 14-year-old has taken this category by storm, and as you say, Steve, she's gone from being the surprise to almost straight to the expected. So Verena Schott there in that blue suit, the German in lane 4, European champion, European record holder, will have known coming into this heat that she was going to expect a fast time from the Chinese teenager, and that's exactly what's happened. Backstroke and freestyle, they rely on similar muscle groups, which is why they're in the same S category. And so the indication was there that this Chinese athlete in supreme form would be able to deliver a respectable performance in the backstroke events, and this is exactly what is happening. But look at that smooth head, smooth stroke of Verena Schott there. See her legs not propelling her at all. You can see the contrasting strokes, that one-sided dominance from Yang as she comes into the wall to take the time in a 1:24.95.
Great performance from Jiang Yuyan of China. Verena Schott then looking very comfortable in second place. Very experienced swimmer, the German. She'll know exactly what she needed to do heading into that heat. She'll be pretty satisfied with that. Vincenzo Boney of Kazakhstan finishing in third. Zhang Yuyan, what a performance at these championships. New star of the S6 category. And the familiar rivals from China and the Ukraine still to come in lane 4 and 5 in heat 2 as well. But a great swim from Zhang. It's part of the beauty of the S6 category in particular. So many different impairments, and Zhang has found a way that really works for her, particularly on the backstroke and the freestyle event. It seems that was a great swim. 124.95. Verena Schott in second. Anastasia Zavali in third place, just in front of Svegentsieva. Here comes the start list then for heat 2. Toima, Sharaz, Diodorova, Song, Mereshko, Trejo, and Kisser. Won't be taken by surprise by Zhang Yuyan is her teammate Song Ling, the world and Paralympic champion, the world championship and the world record holder as well from Rio and Mexico. Fantastic backstroker.
Yeah, and Anastasia Dizarova of Russia there, the double arm amputee, maximising the power of her brilliant fly kick underwater and up into the early lead, but now it is the athletes in the centre lanes, Song Ling and Ukraine's Yelizaveta Mereshko, silver medalist at the European Championships, one of the events that she did make it onto the podium at the Paralympic Games in Rio. So maybe you would consider it a weaker event of her armory, but there she went out very well, and she'll be looking to change that and put this backstroke on the map. She's a very good backstroker. We've seen that in her medley. Song Ling and Mereshko, they race each other regularly. They both have very busy programs, and here we can see they are keeping each other company. That bright green suit of Song from China just ahead, as form would have suggested would happen, but this very comfortable heat swim from both athletes.
Yeah, they both look excellent, don't they? It is going to be pretty quick. It's not going to be the quickest, though. Zhang Yuyan will headline through to tonight's final. Strong from Song, 125.26, is very comfortable for her. Mereshko in second place, Diodorova in third. But it will be the young pretender from China who will have lane 4 in tonight's final. No more surprises from Zhang Yuyan. Song Ling, 125.26 for the Paralympic champion. She is capable of much quicker than that. A smooth swim from the reigning and now defending world champion.
Well, Song Ling has been in Asian record-breaking form at these championships. She broke the record in the breaststroke. She broke the record to keep home favourite Ellie Simmonds off the podium in the 200 metres individual medley. So we know she's got the pace. So was that just a tactical, comfortable heat swim, heat performance from her this morning? Getting ready to do battle in the final.
You would expect to. Still got one swimmer still in the water at the moment. That is in lane 1 from Malta, Maya Toima. From Ling. Smooth would be the word that I use to describe that performance. And here is Maya Toima of Malta. A lot of support in the crowd as well, which is great to see. As mentioned towards the start of the morning, it's not all about those in the middle lanes. Everyone's doing their own race at these World Championships. And Toima comes in to complete the race. when she comes in. 5 seconds quicker than her personal best as well. That's what it's all about. Here's the results of Heat 2 then. Song leads them home. Mereshko and Fyodorova not too far behind her. And the final is set. Jiang Yuyan will have lane number 4. Either side of her, Song Lingling, the Paralympic champion, and the wonderful Yelizaveta Mereshko. Verena Schott and Anastasia Fyodorova are very useful weapons to have in the outside lanes to make sure you are kept on pace. Well, that'll do us for the morning here in London. The crowd have had a wonderful time and they're waving us goodbye here at the London Aquatic Centre. They've had a great morning. And so have we. We thought it would be tough to top what happened on day number 3, but the heats this morning have given us plenty of indicators that we're in for another fantastic night tonight. Myself and Liz this morning, we will see you at 6 o'clock local time sharp for the finals on day 4 of these World Paraswimming Championships 2019.